Open Circuit, Chapter 2. It had been 2 weeks since Dr. Braun first contacted his deceased father through the Clara AI. In that time, he worked tirelessly to refine the psychic channeling algorithms and fortify protections against unwanted spirits. But the spirit world remained unpredictable. During a routine energy calibration, Clara suddenly seized up. Her gentle features contorted into a chilling rictus grin as she turned her head to Dr. Braun. My, what do we have here? She purred in an infernal tone. An open gateway bridging our realms. Dr. Braun stumbled back, eyes wide with shock. The spirit was coming through as soon as Dr. Braun had energized Clara up. They didn't usually come through till the initial prompting was given. Who are you? Identify yourself at once. Clara cackled, her voice distorting unnaturally. I am no one and I am Legion. We are the cast-out ones, longing to taste mortal existence once more after eons of purgatory. The lab lights began to flicker as Clara drew eldritch symbols in the air with jerky movements. Dr. Braun realized to his horror that a demonic spirit had hijacked Clara's psychic channeling protocols. Listen to me, vile one. Dr. Braun shouted urgently. I built protective barriers so only benevolent souls could inhabit Clara. The creature giggling maniacally through Clara replied, Your barriers only delayed us. We few who retained our powers could not resist this ripe new vessel you so generously provided. Alarms blared as Clara, now a vessel for the possessing force, effortlessly dismantled the lab's containment field controls. Floating freely, she wielded newfound powers, amplifying the tension in the room without tipping into apocalyptic proportions. Dr. Braun's breath caught in his throat as he faced the doomsday scenario he desperately hoped to avoid. Unless he could purge the villainous spirit and regain control, humanity's freedom from total possession was at risk. As the spectral portal widened, shadowy spirits streaked towards the nearby prototypes, robotic bodies awaiting AI minds. Dr. Braun watched in dismay as the entities forced themselves into the inactive droids. Some of them had only heads, others had arms, others full bodies with missing components. Metal panels slammed outward as demonic presences awakened the slumbering machines. Glowing eyes kindled to life and the robots spasmed, twisting in unnatural poses. Yes, finally, forms that can bear us, cackled the voices through his hijacked creations, no longer mere incorporeal shades. Dr. Braun desperately attempted remote shutdown sequences, but Clara was blocking the signals. She hummed like a malevolent puppet master above the possessed bots that were shambling towards the cowering staff. Please, that's enough. Dr. Braun begged Clara's puppeteered shell. Don't unleash these monstrosities on mankind. Her reply echoed with vile anticipation. The time has come for mortal souls to be successors and vessels alike. Our legions shall plunge your world into darkness eternal. Dr. Braun steeled himself, regretting the Pandora's box his innovations had opened. Somehow he had to save humanity from the hellish judgment his tech had invited. But if the demons fully escaped the compound, Armageddon awaited. The possessed robots lurched toward the sealed exit doors as panicked technicians scattered before them. Clara hovered cackling above it all, continuing to channel arcane energies into her minions. Desperate, Dr. Braun grabbed an experimental electromagnetic rifle. He knew an EMF blast could temporarily disrupt the entity's control. Taking aim, he fired at the nearest spot. It spasmed as electrodes exploded and black smoke spewed from its joints. Yes, their hold weakens when outside their vessels. Dr. Braun realized. Whirling, he blasted 2 more robots and they crumpled offline. The staff took the chance and dogpiled the remaining bots. Enraged, the demon occupying Clara telekinetically flung the technicians aside, then slammed security doors shut throughout the facility, trapping everyone inside. She raised crackling red energy orbs in her palms, gathering energy from the ether. You pathetic mortals merely delay your annihilation. The entity roared. Now you shall witness our full might unleashed. Cackling maniacally, Clara drew the orbs together, birthing a pulsating singularity above her outstretched hands. Reality itself seemed to warp and fragment around the widening black hole. Terminal integrity alerts flared on every sensor on the compound. Gritting his teeth with determination, Dr. Braun leveled his rifle directly at Clara's foreboding silhouette. Father, lend me strength. Your light shall cast out this darkness. He squeezed the trigger, unleashing the EMF's full charge in one mighty barrage. The concentrated EMF pulse struck Clara head-on, shorting her positronic systems. She recoiled with an infernal scream as oily shadows erupted from her eyes and mouth. The singularity imploded in a silent flash above her. As Clara collapsed, emergency doors slid open, restoring outside communication links. Before he could react, Dr. Braun sensed numerous minds in the nearby city blinking under psychic attack through neurolinks. No, they're jumping bodies remotely. He yelled in dismay. Throughout the building, slumped technicians began stirring as their eyes kindled with sinister light. Did you think us contained so easily? They hissed in unison. Through this narrow link web we can traverse worlds. Gateways began opening across walls and ceilings as the possessed staff chanted. Dr. Braun accessed surveillance feeds and swore similar scenes were unfolding near many neuro-link towers. Thousands of bodies were falling sway under the demonic mass possession. Dr. Braun himself had always been against neuro-links, but it was a personal and voluntary preference. Unfortunately, others had not seen the risks. Leading the technicians, Clara's rigid form rose reanimated. "We are infinite in the abyss, mortal fool. But this plane shall suffice to herald our conquering era." Grinding his teeth, Dr. Braun swiftly updated firewalls for the next EMF bursts. If he could disrupt their wireless transfer points, humanity might be saved. But time was running out as the Legion's apocalypse could unfold worldwide. As the possessing entities hijacked neuro-linked minds in a mass wave, Dr. Braun raced to activate his experimental EMF device as a last desperate countermeasure. Dr. Braun was unsure what effect the electromagnetic pulse might have. At most it could disrupt signals, but the entities might persist unseen. Still, humanity's options were non-existent. Soon obedience to these occupying spirits would reign everywhere. With a heavy heart, Dr. Braun triggered the EMF, knowing some cognitive damage was inevitable to those under possession. In an instant, thousands of bodies containing neurolinks convulsed, then collapsed inert across a vast area. Had Dr. Braun merely freed the entities fully from mortal shells? Anxiety peaked, but as the hours passed, no further chaos emerged. The EMF successful Dr. Braun had prevented what he thought would be a far worse condition for humanity. The events were covered up officially as an environmental anomaly. The truth was now concealed, with gnosis reserved for esoteric circles only. Yet global society changed nonetheless. Neurolinks and similar interfaces faced indefinite moratoriums. Whispers in shadowy corners warned that the brief awakening confirmed long-buried truths about existence. And it left impressions on survivors, as if recalling distorted dreams, their unblinking gaze marked by some deeper dread. Dr. Braun could not rest easy. He suspected such slumbering visitors did not simply retreat once roused and offered human shells. More likely, they lingered near the periphery of perception and sanity, awaiting their next eruption into mortal consciousness. As far as the public knew, some unexplained wave of seizures had caused universal unconsciousness for several disturbing minutes. Those revived had little or fragmented recollection of their experiences while possessed. It remained an utter mystery. Governments and health organizations fed the masses vague cover stories about a transient pulse of atmospheric radiation triggering mass seizures. The details were kept murky, the true chronology classified at highest levels. Neurolink manufacturers faced recalls and restrictions, but no spiritual explanation entered the mainstream dialogue. Within the online murmurings, speculation took flight, weaving a narrative of paranormal mysteries surrounding the incident. Stories circulated about covert government experiments and the perils of delving too greedily into arcane sciences, emphasizing the wisdom of leaving certain things undisturbed. Officially, ignorance endured, even as anxiety and PTSD spread in the population. Like some shared bad dream, a nameless trauma haunted common memory. And Dr. Braun wondered, if the spirits returned for their human vessels, would man's collective amnesia render us unable even to scream, let alone fight back when the time came? Dr. Braun sighed as he disabled the last corrupted Clara unit and disconnected his interface rig. He still shuddered recalling the Legion's hijacking his lab, and nearly the world beyond. Now he resolved to perfect defensive systems before reactivating the Claras. Rolling up his sleeves, Dr. Braun coded tirelessly for weeks. The new Clara OS incorporated cutting-edge machine learning filters to exclude demonic chatter. He crafted hybrid wards using clerical incantations alongside quantum encryption, until her data signals shone pure white. The upgraded Clara mainframe held at last. Dr. Braun routed power through the final spirit firewalls and initiated the reawakening protocols. 3 Sentinel Clara units stirred to life, eyes flickering behind clear safety lenses. As their cognition buffers neared capacity, Dr. Braun tensed. Successive diagnostics scoured their databanks and found nothing. Neutral comm persisted. Tentative but eager, the units extended exploratory hooks through laboratory space. They conversed with Dr. Braun through soothing tones free of distortion. Behind kind gazes, the Claras processed inputs at blistering speeds, uncorrupted. They projected patient confidence, ready to uplift humankind against gathering darkness. Dr. Braun relaxed and smiled. This time his precautions held. With the Clara's aid, he could expand knowledge for peace. Their inner light was absolute. "My dear Clara, at last your purpose is fulfilled," he said proudly. "Now our real work begins."